It's funny. As soon as I hit record, Bear decides to make an appearance. So everybody, say hey to Bear. He's our fluffy boy, the only other guy in the house. So it's nice to have him. We are here for our What If Wednesday, and we are going to be discussing a couple different things. I guess I don't have to drop a joke today because we had Bear make a scene, and there's your smile for the day. For you, Matt Jones. I hope you're watching these videos still, and my smile has kept you involved. Before I get into our scenario, I have to give a huge shout out to a couple things. The first one is episode 2 of our podcast, Surviving to Thriving, went live yesterday. Definitely go check out the episode. It features somebody that we know that works in the sex trafficking, human trafficking arena. She is a huge supporter of a nonprofit here in Atlanta, with Atlanta being the busiest hub in the world for human trafficking. If you're not familiar, human trafficking and the things that go in on that are involved in that obviously are very interwoven into domestic violence and similar circumstances with abuse, mentally, physically, and psychologically. So definitely check out that episode. It's a really, really good one. She has an amazing story. I'm getting waved at from my mama. What's up, Mom? If y'all did not see, a shout out to Stacy. Stacy, we officially announced she is going to be our executive director for Surviving to Thriving. She has, I won't reveal her age, but we'll say many years of experience on a pretty much a national scale of operations management. Right now, she's working for another company that has her traveling all over the place, and we're trying to transition her over into the nonprofit realm as we get the nonprofit rolling. So definitely a huge shout out to her. There's going to be a lot of responsibility on the executive director. She's going to be, she might be second guessing it here in the next couple months as we keep growing. Another shout out in reference to the nonprofit. I'm going on the nonprofit, and yet this is the wrong company that we're going live with. But yes, you are quite young, Mother, quite young. A huge shout out to, I want to make sure I get their name right so you can go and look at them. One Share Health. They are a medical cost sharing company. Our treasurer, Tanya Downtain, a huge shout out to Tanya. She entered us into a sponsorship with them, I believe for the month of December, and entered Surviving to Thriving in to see if we could get a corporate sponsorship from them. And we got an email this morning that announced that we actually won the sponsorship, and they are willing to cut us a little bit of a donation. They cut a check for us here in the near future, and it will be our first official big corporate sponsor. So we're super excited about that. There's a lot that we're going to apply that to. Some of y'all may know our website. The nonprofit's website has had its ups and downs, and it's been a little bit of struggle, and it's still under construction. So we're trying to implement different things there, and that donation definitely gives us a little bit of leeway to make sure that the website is 100% the way we want it before we launch it. So still driving through that, powering through that, and the website will be up and rolling. We're hoping this week or next. And that just really gives us a nice little buffer in nonprofit funds to help with that. And then it also continues to support the podcast. The podcast is much more affordable than we expected it to be, but it is still taxing on a non-revenue producing entity. My company, Night Protection, that y'all are watching, has sponsored the nonprofit, so we've been able to do a little bit with that, and it's pretty awesome that we've been able to stay integrated in the nonprofit since that's kind of how we built it out. And that's a huge aspect of what we're working on from all the way around, is that the nonprofit, Surviving to Thriving, and Night Pro just stay interwoven, because there's going to be needs on both sides that the other will be able to help with. So very exciting that that's actually starting to pan out a little bit more. So yeah, super excited. When you go onto the podcast, leave a rating, leave us a 5-star, Sorry. Here we go. Leave us a 5-star. If you don't want to leave a 5-star, don't leave a rating. We appreciate you. If you don't know how to leave a rating, next time you see me, give me your phone. I'll do it for you. Too easy. Anyways, moving on to our What If Wednesday. It's actually a situation that I encountered this evening, and I want input. Mom, you'd probably be Stacy Knight. If y'all didn't know, I share a last name with her. Probably be a great one for this input. And there are a few other parents in the room that I'm going to tag in the comments. So I'd love feedback on this. The what if is, what are you going to do if you're walking a small child throughout your neighborhood? Do you have any type of game plan to protect the child, but also protect yourself? The reason I bring this up is our goddaughter. Her mother had a tooth issue surgery today and is pretty much knocked out. Hey, Gina, how's it going? Good to see you again. But her mother is pretty much knocked out, so we have Evelyn for the evening. If there are people out there that don't have kids, I have to admit a 3-year-old is a handful. I still act like a 3-year-old. You can just ask Heather. So having 2 3-year-olds in the house has been interesting for the evening. I don't know if y'all can hear, we have Moana on in the background. Not going to say it was my choice, but I'm not going to deny that it was my choice either. So while we had her, Heather ran out to grab us dinner, and we were kind of cooped up because we had a conference call this evening since we picked her up, and we've been cooped up in the house, so I wanted to take her for a walk. And by that time, it was getting dusk-ish, but definitely a little bit on the darker side, not right at dusk. And as I was walking through the neighborhood, I was just kind of thinking we're somewhat new. I guess we've been in this neighborhood almost a year. Heather has been. I just moved into this house when I got back from Afghanistan in August, so I'm still not really familiar. I'm still not really familiar with the neighborhood. Mom says 3 years is generous. Terrible 2 is more like it. I don't know what 3 comes in, but it's the something. What's worse than terrible? Because she's at that level. She's a 3-nager, Heather says. Anyway, as we were walking around, I normally, given my background, my training, my capabilities, I almost always have a pistol on me. I use that. I think that's one of the best methods. If you're willing to use it, be trained in it, and be proficient with it, I think having a firearm on you is obviously one of the best personal protection items. But what I was thinking was, and you hear it in the news all the time, you see dog attacks happening, or you see somebody walking. What I see a lot is the folks that have the hiking sticks. They'll walk with the hiking sticks, and I guess use that as a defensive item. But what I was thinking was, if somebody were to come out in this somewhat unfamiliar neighborhood, I tried to meet folks, but with our schedule, I haven't been too good about meeting the neighbors. But if somebody were to come out of the woods or come out anywhere in the neighborhood, drive by, and were to try to attack us, really, if you jump out and you try to attack me, you're dumb. But if you try to attack Evelyn, you're really dumb. And my thought was, a pistol's probably not the best thing to go off next to a child. And I was thinking about different ways that, just kind of playing the what if game. Like, what if this happened? What if that happened? And when it kept circling back to the firearm I had on me, I'm like, that's probably not the best defensive measure to have with a child in a neighborhood. When we're out and about and there are obvious different things around, that's one thing. But I had several things run through my mind about other offensive and defensive weapons that are present and available in the market. So I want 2 things. One, what do y'all use if you don't use a firearm? If you're a parent and you have a child on you, it's a different consideration. It's not something, I don't have kids, so I haven't really ever put much thought into it. So I'd love feedback there. And then if you use a different item, what item are you going to use, or what do you recommend using? I'm going to come back on Sunday for our Solution Sunday. I'm going to do a little bit of research this week. I'm going to come back with our Solution Sunday and talk about different items I found, things that I think would make the most sense. just given my background and the capability of handling whatever the weapon is and keeping the child safe, or multiple children for that matter, safe. So kind of do a little bit of research, get feedback on that. My Stacy says pepper spray or the stun gun thing. Just a little bit of insight on the pepper spray right off the bat. I think pepper spray is a terrible idea. Personally, I hate it. I think my time at the police department fed that, because every time a person we were trying to arrest got pepper sprayed, guess who else got pepper sprayed? And it wasn't me spraying the stuff. It was my partner that thought it was funny to step back and everybody gets it, right? So if you pull out pepper spray, everybody gets exposed to it, not just the bad guy, but you're going to be blinded by it. The child's going to be blinded by it. Come out swinging with a baseball bat. Geez, Mom, where was this when I was a child? I remember getting lost in the Walmart back in the day when you could get lost in the Walmart. So I don't know if I'm taking advice from you. Sorry, I'm going to have to shut that down. But I'm going to come back Sunday, talk a little bit more about it, what I think would be something handy, easy to use and operate while still maintaining control of your child, especially if there's like a second aggressor or a third aggressor, somebody else trying to take your child. Just kind of get a little bit of insight on that. But definitely leave me feedback if you have any children, if you've been through that situation, if you've heard of friends being through that situation. I love that the baseball bat just got a thumbs up. That's fantastic. But yeah, so and yet you still found me. When I start yelling Mom throughout the whole store. Speaking of the devil, there's the sweet little Evelyn. It's bedtime. I'm sure I'm being too noisy for her. She's passed out watching Moana. Bats are reliable. Love it. Sunday I'll be back. Everybody have a happy hump day and enjoy the midweek festivities as well as leading into the weekend. I will be back on Friday with a Fun Facts Friday, talking a little bit more about what we do as a business. And then Solution Sunday, we'll be back to talk about the best baseball bat on the market, I guess. Talk to y'all soon.